Hey guys, this is Grim Gamer here, and I'm here to show you the basics of coding in Java. So I've created a new Java thing. So what you do is you go to New Java Project, and then this will pop up. I named it Tutorial, and you have a source folder. What you need to do is we need to create a package, and we'll name it. And the first letter it can't be a uppercase, so let's just do main.youtube. And then click finish. Now we're going to create a new class, not interface, new class, and this class is going to be called YouTube. And this is where we're going to put all of our coding, most of it. So the first thing you need to know is what a static and public and private and everything is. Alright, so if I were to create a new class and call it TubeU, because I'm very original, if you're going to create something that's a private integer, I don't know, and the default of an integer is 0. So what this did was it created a new integer called h, and it will never be accessible by this class. You'll never be able to access this straight up. You can create a public integer and it equals h, but other than that, you can never have this exact integer in here unless you change it to public. Alright, the next thing you need to know is the difference between static and non-static. So static basically just makes it a lot easier to access. So if you have a static integer, then it's available for anything like if you had, we'll get into this in just a second, but if you had a public static void, why is that there? And you have a public static void, and it's called hi. Now, if you call h, so system dot out dot print, not that, h, now it'll print out h. But if we try to run this, it's just not going to let you because you don't have a main class. So that's the next thing we need to know. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to create a public static void main. This is what everything runs off of. So now you're going to say string args. Alright. You can hear my dog in the background. She's a little annoying. So what you're going to do here is you're going to write. Now you're going to call this void. So what a void does is it's whenever something like this calls something, it'll call this void. Alright. So this is called, and so it'll run the commands in this whenever it's called. So if you're going to say hi, then it'll call hi, and whenever you run this, it should work. It'll print out 0 because the default is 0. So if you wanted to, you could create and make this equal 50, and if you run it, it's going to equal 50. My dog's barking. One sec. Alright, I'm back. Maybe she won't bark this time. Alright, so now we know that this calls h. I think that's what we were doing. So now this is what everything runs in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a simple kind of calculator. So what you want to do is in here, let's just do a simple addition. So now if you say So if you want, you can just say, let's create two new two new integers. So it has to be static because you can't call a normal integer through void unless you say I don't remember, I think it's like this dot YouTube or something like that. Alright, so public static int add 1, I don't know, equals 15. And then let's copy this. So this will just be or addition. So like 56, I don't know. Alright, so now what we'll do is it'll call hi in the main string. And now it'll do system.out.println. Print line creates a new line every time it prints, and print just keeps printing it over and over and over in the same line until it runs out of space, and then it word wraps. But we want to print a line for the next thing I want to do. Alright, so now in here, we're not going to put a string because you can put a string. You can put like hello, and then if you use this, it'll say hello and stuff. But we're not going to use it for a string. We're going to do add add1 plus add2 and now if we go in here, it'll do 71 because that's what this equals. And if you wanted it to, you didn't want it to say what the addition is, and you wanted it to say 1556, you do, not that, no, I'm clicking the wrong buttons. Now that little quotation does nothing except now it says 1556. So that's how you do that. You can also do subtraction. So if you want to do subtraction, then it'll do negative numbers because it's higher. Alright. So all the things you can do is you can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then division. So I'll just show you, and that shows you all of the stuff. And apparently it doesn't. Here's how you get integers, or double, or you have to get a double too, because integers are full numbers. So you'd have to get a double, and now if you print it, it should, yeah, there. See, now it has the whole answer. So this is good for calculators. Now the next thing we want to do is I want it to run it, and then I want it to say if it's over, if add 1, goodness, add1, let's just do plus for the sake of easiness, is greater than 52. So that means that if it's 53 or up, then it will say system.out.println, and it'll say hi YouTube, and this will show how this works. Alright, so now let's change this back to plus, and now if we run it, it's 71, and it's going to say hi YouTube. Now if you have a double, it's always going to do the .0 on there, on the little decimal. So That's just something to know. So it's going to say hi YouTube. If you change this to, I don't know, 36, then it's not going to say it because it's one under. But if we do, or let me just say, if it's 37, so it's exactly 52, it's not going to do it. And the way, if you want it to do it at 52, you don't have to do greater than 51. You have to do, or you can, but it's not the best way to do it. What you can do is greater than or equal to 52. Now, when you run it, it'll say hi YouTube. And you can replace this with less than, obviously. And sometimes it does that. And then less than or equal to, and then it'll say hi YouTube. If you remove this, it won't say it. And then if you change this to 36, it'll say it. So it's really simple how you do that. Now we want it to do, this is real cool. This is my favorite, or this is one of my favorite things. So we don't want it to just say hi YouTube once. We want it to say it like every 100 times a second, because that's 1,000 times a second. It's every millisecond, so that's 1,000 times a second. So instead of if, we say while. And this should say hi YouTube a bajillion times, see? And it'll just keep saying hi YouTube, keep saying hi YouTube. And you can't stop it. You can't unless you cancel it. But if you have a JFrame or something and you click that, and you have it open, if you click the Xbox in the top right corner, it'll stop it. And so now you got the while. So, and if you want it to say a certain amount of times, you can create a new integer, int amount. Let's put this in here. Int amount equals 0. And then we'll say this is how you have two things. So it has to be over 52 or under 52 and not 3, just 2 amount equals, so it's not 1 equals, it's 2 equals, or let's just say is greater than or less than or equal to 1,000. So it'll say it 1,000 times. So now we put amount plus plus, which means it'll add it once. If you do minus minus, it'll subtract it once. And if you do plus equals or minus equals, and then you say 50, it'll add it. It'll add 50 to amount. And that's just because if the equals thing would be equals 50, and that would mean that it's always going to equal 50. So now we just want to do plus plus. Let's change this to a more reasonable number, 10. So now if we run this command, it should stop once it reaches 10. And let's just, for the sake of easiness, so we know it was working, we do amount. So now it's going to say hi YouTube plus it'll say amount. So now if we run it, it says it 10 times. That's a bug. Oh well. So perfect. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. So that's good. Now let's get into the types of stuff like this, So you have a couple things. There's probably tons more than this, but what I usually use is the double, the integer. So integer, then I also use the boolean, so public static boolean hi hui, and it's default false. Then you can use the string, so public static string, which is really helpful because you have to put what it equals. So like, we'll just make it say hi YouTube again. And this is really helpful because, why is it not working? What? Maybe it's just this public static string. That's weird. One sec. Expected. Oh well. One sec. Okay, I figured it out. I'm stupid. Alright, so public static string hi equals hi YouTube. Alright, so now it's going to say hi YouTube, and this is really helpful because instead of writing out hi YouTube every time, what you can do is you can replace this with hi. Not that. Hi. It's case sensitive. So now, instead of instead of having to type in hi YouTube every time, all you have to do is say hi. So this is helpful if you want to repeat the same thing in multiple different ways. Like if you're playing a game and you want to create a username or a name for the character, you can set it and the string will be their username. And that's just how it works. So now if you run it, it's still going to say hi YouTube 10 times, but it's using hi, so it's a lot less typing. So yeah. So let me think. Those are really most of the basic things of Java. Oh, else. Okay. So if you have an if, this might be popular. You might already know about this, but else. If you have an if, you can have an else. And what the else does is, if it doesn't equal this, it will say system out prints line by YouTube. Alright? That's just an example. So now if you do, so that was, let's just say it's 56 again, or whatever it was. Now, instead of saying hi YouTube, it's going to say bye YouTube. Oh, bye YouTube. Yeah. So that's really one of the main things that you need to know if you're going to start a coding in Java. So now, actually no, don't do that. You can do advanced equations. Really, if you wanted to, you can do very advanced stuff. Like if you're having problems on your math problems, troubles with your math or algebra or whatever you're taking, you can do something like let's just do ADD1 equals 50 times 32 divided by 2, or divided by 2 minus 3, or minus 3. And now system.out.println ADD1 will answer that equation. And it should do it correctly. Just add one more thing, 32. No, that's already on there. There. Alright, so now it should be something around this. So you can, if you have a double, it's really helpful because you can do stuff like 32.6, and then this can be 50.25, and then if you run it, it's going to be 5670.75. It's just really cool. So you don't have to have the parentheses here, and it should say the same answer. So yeah, see? So it follows order of operations. So if you had something like this in here, it should come out with a different answer. See, it came out with another answer. And just pretty cool, you know? Yeah. So if you like this video, please put a like in the comments and keep watching, because I'm probably going to come out with more videos about this, because coding is fun. I don't know how much more to say it. It's just fun. Especially when your dog's not barking at you. And oh, one more thing. Alright. But remember that for the end. So, what you need to do now is, let's do this. What's happening? Well, watch this. Int ADD1. Let's remove this. There's an error here. Add cast, or this is the double, sorry. Double ADD1. Alright. Now there's a problem here. What's wrong? I just created an int especially for this. So, if you wanted to call, now instead of putting this right here, we can remove it and put it right here. And now, we don't need this anymore. And we won't have an error. Now this is helpful because, watch this. We're going to paste it again, and we're going to change this to 32 divided by 15. 532 divided by 15. So now, watch this. 2 problems, 2 answers. So if you wanted to solve all your problems right there, bam, that's how you do it. It just will answer basically all your problems right there. And you can get more advanced. You can get a lot more advanced if you know what you're doing. The if and the else system is really helpful. I use it a lot. And so, alright, back to what I was going to. If you like the video, please leave me a comment and click the like button and subscribe for more content, because I'll be making more of these. And I guess that's it. I'll see you guys later.